After you understand that ESG sits in risk governance, the next mistake becomes obvious. Asking how much does ESG cost is the wrong question, not because cost doesn't matter, but because it's the wrong decision lens for what ESG is actually doing. When leaders fixate on cost, they're subconsciously treating ESG like a discretionary program, something comparable to a campaign, a system upgrade, or a nice-to-have initiative. But risk governance has never been evaluated that way. You don't ask what fire exits cost a building. You ask what happens if there's a fire and you didn't install them. And you don't assess cybersecurity by how cheap it is. You assess it by the damage when it fails. So ESG works the same way. Its value isn't in what it produces, it's in what it prevents. So the real question isn't, what does this cost us this year? It's, what does failure cost us when this risk materializes? Because failure is never priced politely. It arrives as regulatory penalties you can't negotiate away. Reputational damage that spreads faster than legal responses. Workforce churn that quietly erodes capability, and supplier shocks that turn operational issues into financial ones. And by the time those costs show up clearly on a spreadsheet, the decision window has already closed. This is why organizations that only think in upfront cost terms always feel blindsided. They're measuring the wrong side of the equation. Cost of failure logic flips the frame. Instead of asking how lean ESG can or should be, it asks how exposed the organization really is. Instead of optimizing spend, it prioritizes insulation. And instead of chasing visible returns, it reduces the severity of invisible shocks. That doesn't mean ESG should be bloated or performative. It means it should be designed with the same seriousness as any other control system that exists to stop bad outcomes, not to generate good headlines. So if you find yourself stuck on the cost question, pause. Not because the answer doesn't matter, but because the question itself tells you you're still looking at ESG through the wrong lens. Get the question right first. Everything else follows. Check out my new YouTube video linked below. The episode isn't about reporting. It isn't about incentives or behavior. It's not sales. It's about getting the frame right.